You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the October 10th special meeting for the LaPorte County Solid Waste District Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I will call the meeting to order of the LaPorte County Solid Waste District meeting of October 10th. Everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And let me see here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Haney.
Present.
Commissioner Grammarosa. Present. Mayor Dermody.
Present.
Mayor Nelson Deitch. Commissioner Hollifield.
Present.
Councilman Mullenhour. Councilman Prespolinski.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thanks. Are there any comments from the public? No? Okay. And today's subject matter is going to be the compost site update due to the fires that have been taking place in the last 2.5 weeks. So,
1.5 weeks.
pardon?
1.5 weeks.
1.5 weeks?
It's only been a week and a half?
Yeah.
The 1 week, the first week was a long one.
Yeah. It started.
Well, either
Last
way,
week, Friday,
either way.
Andy Schneider was out here too.
Okay, and just to keep things moving in an orderly fashion, and I know that questions will be coming up. Yeah, address the chair first, and then the commissioner can ask the questions instead of just general comments coming. So, we will start with the update from Executive Director Clay Turner.
I just basically put together a quick one-sheet synopsis of what went on, because most of you have been out there and talked to me and kind of know what's going on, and you've been able to pass that back to your constituents. The first thing on there is just Indiana code that I cited that tells you that residents can't really put their green waste into a landfill. It's got to go somewhere to be processed. So. Second is just kind of a quick synopsis of what timeline out here at the local site.
Go ahead and read the.
I'm sorry, Clay, could you repeat that just so like branches?
Well, it says the state of Indiana prohibits residents from knowingly placing vegetative matter from landscaping maintenance and land clearing projects in the landfill. That's what Indiana code IC 13-20-9-2 states.
And that happens.
It does happen, but not knowingly. I mean, garbage haulers really can't just take them there unless they get special permitting or go to a special landfill. That's why we have compost sites and we have recycling centers.
Okay, Clay, if you would please, just go ahead and, I haven't read this, but go ahead and read it just for the sake of the record and
then I just want to go over a timeline for our building down there. I think people just assume that we've been there forever. We really haven't. In June of 2018, we finally got our blueprints approved for that facility down there because we had to leave our Westville site. We were building a prison out there, so we had to find another location. And then in July 2019, took a year and a couple months to get the building built. We got our certificate of occupancy out there. And then August of 2020, the commissioners deeded that property over to us so we could start actually doing what we wanted to do out there. February of 22, we started clearing that site up on the hill where the fire was at. That was all wooded area before we were able to clear it. And then, as you might remember, February of 24, you allowed us to purchase a new trommel so we could start actually really processing the compost out there. As the chairman said, I'm going to read this paragraph to you. On the morning of September 21st, 2025, I received a call from Don Stoner, manager of the fairgrounds, informing me of smoke coming from the compost site. During the conversation, I gave Don the code to the gate and asked him to call the fire department and let him know that I would be on my way. And I reminded him that that lot is in the city, so we had to call the Port City, not Sipping. I reached out to my employees in case equipment was needed to move material. more equipment and manpower were needed more equipment and manpower were determined to be needed. At that time, LaPorte Mayor Tom Dermody and County Commissioner Steve Hollifield were notified, and they immediately started making calls to get heavy equipment onto the site.
With your approval?
Yes, with my approval.
Because I called you and said,
Right, but we need this.
oh, yeah.
And we also contacted the insurance agency on that Sunday also to let them know that we would be found.
Steve, you called Clay too, right?
Yeah, I talked to Clay that morning, yeah.
And on and off for the next week and a half, the fire department and crews fought the fire. On September 29th, 2025, Commissioner Hollifield and myself met the representative of our insurance provider and walked the site. October 3rd, 2025, I was notified that the district insurance would cover the cost of containing the fire, and I notified the board of that decision. On October 2nd, 2025, I met with Chairman Prespolinski and toured the site. At that time, he recommended we have a meeting to get the update on the process. During the fire, I either talked to or met with all the members of our district board.
Can I just add that, because we had our phones go out on the county, so we came to check on all the buildings, and on October 3rd, we came back here to look at the piles, and I met Andy Schneider. And he was out here with a truck. There was one pile still smoking, and they had to pour water onto it, so it was still going on October 3rd.
Well, it burned for a couple days after that, but not to the extent of the actual fire. We had
Right.
hot spots.
But they were still, yeah, they were
They
still.
come in almost once a day to check it on
Yeah.
stuff.
I think Tuesdays when the county highway went back out there, met the fire department, and finished ripping the pile completely apart. Tuesday after that.
And at that point, we had our own excavator out there moving the piles apart also. Also included in the packet is our current item permit, because we're inspected yearly out of that site there. Our item permit is actually for 4 years, which is the next sheet on there, but as you can see in the letter, it says that they came out and did their routine inspection on March 11th, and they found no problems. It was just routine inspection, no problems. No violations were observed, is what it says. Then in their report on that same day, March 11th, 2025, during your routine inspection, in this report, it just basically says that everything is neat, no trash on site, any ponding of water is being diverted, so everything is the way it should be. The permit, I mean, people act like we're not monitored. We're monitored on a yearly basis by item. Also, we're monitored if somebody has a complaint, they'll come out and look at it.
I have a question on that, would be the third paragraph. A long pile of vegetative waste runs along the northern edge of the site. While the pile is continuous, there are distinct transition points from mixed leaves and grass to logs and brush to stumps. They found logs, stumps, everything from the one in that pile all the way to the other. They're not being separated. Your guys are just pushing everything up in a pile. They're not telling people to keep it separate out there.
Right, on that pile, they're not. That's our storage pile up there.
But that's where the problem started.
Right, that's the way we do the composting. I mean, we can discuss that. I mean, we do cold composting. That's how we do our process up there. We don't do hot composting.
Well, it was hot the other day.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that.
And I mean, with those piles in there, you can't turn.
We can't,
If it was separate, you could turn them, but you couldn't even turn them.
I'm saying, we're not, we can't do an act of God. I'm telling you, I believe that was a lightning strike.
I don't.
I don't think it was heat. Don Stoner said there was quite a show of lightning out there Sunday morning before he noticed the smoke coming.
Well, we'll beg to differ on that one, because I've seen enough hay fires that internal combustion is very real. So
We have berms all around that site.
And that's another-
been there longer than that green
And
pile.
the question I
has been
have, do we have temperatures on those berms?
there. No, we don't do that.
Well, I think we should, because would you like to have to do this, close the fair down if that happened?
I would not. I don't want this to happen ever again.
I don't either.
But
That's
all
why
I'm saying is,
this is
if you
here.
guys start coming up with these new rules and stuff, then you're gonna have to be prepared to actually have a user fee increase to actually pay for this.
Then we do it.
So, I mean, I'm just letting you know, I try to maintain a good site at the lowest cost to the taxpayers. But anyways, other than them pointing out the obvious, that we do have a long pile up there with mixed green waste. They
What
said
is the
no
total
violation.
cost of this? Do we have numbers yet?
Not yet.
All private?
So far, I think the total we haven't got everything in, but we're approaching, charity's gonna be around $10,000 for county highway. G Marshall's about 28,000. Then so far the contractors we've got, the 2 or 3 we've got are somewhere around there.
Maybe-
Maybe all of them are in there $10,000 to $12,000. So each one. So we're gonna be pushing, by the time plus we have this remediation for those buildings for the ductwork cleaning, which the insurance is going to pay for that because it had to be done.
Okay.
And the
So-
That's
overtime,
a
Well-
insurance and a
Well,
training thing.
to be
That's not-
told, to read this email that a board member ordered that to be cleaned, the board members did not. Angie was on touch base with me that day. We toured that building, shut the air conditioner off, talked with Marika Beatty. We talked with JSC, Dan Campbell. That had to be done because you cannot have smoke coming into those buildings, and the temperatures had to be monitored, and to clean that is what had to be done. We also had Joy Johnson brought out because they could not use toilets in those buildings.
Steve, where are you reading that?
It was the email we received.
From Justin Embry?
Yes,
I mean,
yep.
All that was is you informed them the day that we met with him. that
But
you're gonna
but
have
to
those
say,
buildings.
but for him to say that someone
don't
ordered
think that's
that,
in here.
He never said
It's a
it
back
was ordered.
page.
It just says you
Is it?
informed me this was one of the board members that said that.
I guess my
Oh,
question
okay, I
is.
got it. I got it.
I apologize. I mean, I think, and I'm not a county commissioner, I think this, the cleanup has to be covered by insurance. Are we saying it's not?
The
He doesn't wanna
insurance
do
is
the
saying
buildings.
it's not. We're not saying it's not. We'll-
Sure.
We'll turn anything you want in. The insurance is saying it's not. At that point, it turns to, their insurance provider would challenge our insurance provider.
First I heard of it.
really. Oh, I thought a guy reached out to you for a copy of the policy.
He did,
Okay.
but no, I didn't know about the building.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there was smoke inside the buildings there at Community Corrections on that Monday, the very first Monday. I met Angie after, when she called me, she said, we got a big problem out here.
And how much did you say the total bill is?
I think right now well, we're approaching $100,000 before we get to the buildings.
For just the county?
The county's end of it for, the construction equipment coming in.
But that
Oh,
you're saying
okay.
is covered.
Yes.
So how much of the 100 would be covered and how much are you saying?
What's our
is not?
deductible? We haven't got the whole bills, we haven't got all the bills in yet.
No, but for the buildings, if they
The
weren't
cleaning,
covered, how
wasn't it
much
like
is that?
70,000?
70,000 for the last, yeah.
Clean those
To clean the
three
ductwork
buildings.
and everything else, because, and we've had, Marika set the information about how we were mandated to keep the environment of it clean and safe, so it would have been clean and safe had we not had a fire.
I don't think anybody here is challenging
Yeah.
that. I think it's just a thing, like I said, it's gotta go between the insurance agencies and the attorneys. It's out of our control.
I just don't
I'm
like the
with
way,
you. think
I
we
don't
should
like the way
return
it's
that.
worded that a board member brought that company in. A board member did not bring that company in.
I don't believe they're saying that. I believe they're saying that you informed the adjuster.
And next
when we were out
time-
there, and you did inform the adjuster.
Next time, I'll treat that adjuster like I would treat adjuster on my property. I'll tell him nothing.
What are you upset about?
I just, for them to say that we're not gonna cover those buildings, and I'm upset because of the way that was maintained and managed up there. That, it's a mess.
So first, though, I agree with Clay, you're gonna pursue the insurance here, because the county, I think you agree, the county
Yeah,
should.
we have
cover
to.
here,
We're
yeah.
gonna turn in every claim
Yeah,
that we get.
okay.
And we'll have to probably have Doug start the fight with them, as everybody does with insurance companies.
Yeah, if we need to.
Yeah, and I guys on the board with that too.
Because I'm totally in agreement.
Yeah.
that the county should.
Well,
Is the county gonna make a claim for the cleaning on its policy?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
That's why Guy requested a copy of the policy.
Okay, well, he called, he texted me this morning
Yeah.
on the phone call, so maybe.
Because he mentioned possibly pursuing a tort claim,
Okay.
so.
And we have the policy here if anybody needs to.
And do we need to get our firefighter overtime and
I would turn
Yes.
in everything that we can, and
Rates.
just let,
The volunteer firefighters I talked to are probably gonna turn in something too, like they do for a house fire.
that's why we have insurance to cover those costs.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to point the finger at anybody, but Steve, you and I met with him out there, and you
Yeah, I
told
know.
me that exact same thing you just said now.
Yeah, but
Let's
for
not
him to say it was
anything.
ordered,
You said, let's not say anything to this guy about anything, let him talk. And then you're the one that offered that information about having your building cleaned.
yes, because it needed to be
It
cleaned.
doesn't say anywhere in this email that it was ordered.
Yeah.
It just says that he was informed.
Well, it must have been a different email, because I read one that says a board member ordered that done.
It just says board member informed.
Yeah, well, I don't like insurance people anyway, to start with, from a business
You're
standpoint.
preaching to the choir, I
So,
think.
but the main issue is, they better accept the fact that those buildings had to be cleaned because we had this fire. And I'm still saying this whole fire could have been prevented if all that waste had been separated so it could be turned. Corning County Highway, they have printed signs for you guys out there to keep things separated. And from what it looks out there, they just went out and shoved everything up in a pile and didn't separate anything.
Well, like I tried to tell you, we do cold composting, okay? And we take in way more than we can get rid of. So I think this board's determination has to be, how do we slow down what's coming in there? Because we're separating exactly what you said. As you're coming in now, we put the brush in one pile, we put grass and leaves in another pile. We do that, and then we grind that up. We can maintain that.
Then how is everything mixed together in that pile?
Because that's the excess, we can't maintain all that. We haven't got the we can't put all that in windrows, we don't have the property for that. So instead of us coming up maybe a year ago with saying, and like I said with my timeline, that's all been accumulated within 3 years up there. I mean, that's not been up there for years, 3 years. It's not a very long timeline for that huge of a pile to get there.
It's a big pile.
It's a huge pile.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can't grind all that up. We've been giving away mulch for 2 years. We just can't give away enough.
Then we need to find another alternative for it. I've got 2 contractors that I've talked to. That one might possibly want all of it if they'll come haul it away. They'll come and take the wood.
Yeah, they never always. So.
Yes, we need to look at alternative motives because we can't let that pile get that big again.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we need to come up with restricted hours. And as it is right now, we opened our site, but just to the residents. No contractors allowed to use our site. Because other ones bringing in the big stuff, other than the city and the county brings us in the large trees that fall.
Yeah.
And we're obligated to take the city and county. They help us out, we help them out. But, no
Well,
longer,
maybe keep that separate.
I'm telling you, we're limited on our site there. We got 20 acres. You just can't keep everything separated unless you're moving it out quicker. I can't move it out quicker, so I gotta limit what's coming in.
Do you cap it if it reaches a point and say no more until it's removed? or-
Other than, this was a wake-up call. What
I mean, is
happened?
that an option? I don't know if that makes sense. I'm just asking.
That's what I'm saying, by capping it, you know, let's limit our hours. Maybe we go to just no more Saturdays and 4 days a week. Michigan City collects their own green waste now, they take it to their own site. That's been a big help, so it's coming in. Maybe the other communities need to look at that also.
If we keep that wood separate, consider bringing the possibility that, say, on Saturdays, people can come get all the firewood they want. We can load up on their trailers, or they can come cut it and take it away.
We've offered that to people too, as long as they sign out a little bit of liability.
I don't have a problem with waivers. So,
And
waiver
what
for-
happens with the property now? People, it piles up till what happens?
We grind as much as we can grind, and then we put it in our containment units. We have containment for wood chips, containment
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
mulch, containment for compost. What we've done in the past is we put all of our excess ground stuff on our berms. And then as it deteriorates, because it takes anywhere between 3 and 12 months for compost to be made, it has to break down.
But don't
So
you
we've been
supposed to,
pulling out of the back berm now to make compost, and as that back berm gets taken away, we'll build a new berm with the new stuff that we had.
don't we turn those piles?
We do not turn.
I see you've got a turner out there, but I've not seen it. You also have a turner, and you also have a tub grinder out there.
We do not have a tub grinder.
Yes, there is one out there. I know what a tub grinder is. It's sitting up there on top of the hill by the fire. I'll take it up and show it to you.
You can't.
Yeah, it's a tub
guarantee there's
grinder.
no tub grinder
Yeah,
out there.
and it's because it's the same tub grinders we use on dairy farms for grinding hay and straw bales.
You're probably
But
seeing
I don't
that.
see a tractor anywhere.
You're seeing the windrow turners, what you're seeing.
I saw the windrow turner right next to the tub grinder. It's been sitting in the weeds for a long
We'll go up
time.
there after the meeting.
Okay, that's
and
fine.
I'll guarantee you there's no tub grinder.
Then you must have moved it, because I know what I saw last week in the fire.
It never was.
So-
But even the piles you're turning it in, is there concern with fire in those?
There's always a concern with fire, but our berms are small enough where if there was a fire that broke out in one, you just take the payloader and push a path through it, and then it just burned into one area there.
Well, that's what they thought they could do up there, and every time they broke into that pile, they found more flames.
Yeah. And
That whole pile
was
is
wrong.
off.
Don't get me wrong, you're absolutely right, but that was our only alternative, was to just keep putting the excess over there until we could figure something out. Time just got away. I mean, like I said, it's only been a couple of years. That's how much stuff we take in out there.
Okay, so the root cause of the fire, okay, is excess inventory of wood, correct? Everybody,
Excess inventory of everything and not
Yeah.
being separated to where if you had just mulch, I think you could have turned that once in a while, the payloader or something, but when you got everything mixed together, that just made it worse. So they're gonna have to separate that stuff, whether those guys wanna sit outside all day or not, they're gonna have to be told they're gonna have to do their jobs.
But I don't,
Separate.
I'm the wrong person because I'm far from an expert on this, but I don't know, has anybody talked to like Chief Snyder or some environmentalists? I mean, I know they'll all help to give their.
Aaron Russell's out there.
I figured Snyder would have been here today, but
We didn't
Was he
invite
invited?
anybody wanted to.
Might
We
not
did
be
invite our EMA director, Rob Saby. He was kind of the man on the site there, but it's not his site, but he.
well, I know it's not his
Yeah.
site, but do you have any recommendations for what you saw out there at that site?
Well, one thing, just to start off with, one thing I can do is I can contact the National Weather Service and see if they have any record of lightning strikes in this area. You know, we can eliminate that, or that could be a possibility. But with a pile that size, you know, the way it decomposes, it creates heat. So,
There's internal combustion.
you know, it's a possibility that could have been smoldering for a while underneath that big pile. You know, it might not have. It could have been smoldering for a couple of weeks. Who knows? You know, it just starts out small and you know, eventually
Right.
when it finally gets air, then it takes off. But
Right.
I know with it takes time, temperature, and pressure for you know, spontaneous combustion. So with that big a pile, you've got the pressure, you've got the time, you know. So
But there's gotta be professionals that can come look, even if it's not the fire, but I don't know, environmental or, you know, people just to say, here's what we.
There might be some that
recommend.
we did have IDEM come out and they took water samples and everything was fine on that. So there was no.
I mean, of the piles, how
The
to
pile.
do it in the future.
Steve is absolutely right. The pile was just too big.
You should never been allowed to get that big.
No.
But Clay, no
No.
offense, you're not an expert either, right?
Right.
I would say bring some people in and go, hey, people are still gonna wanna turn in their stuff.
I wonder if IDEM doesn't have some type of a program to give
I
recommendations.
bet they do, or maybe through Purdue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Purdue.
Yeah.
If the
Of
city
course.
would let their people burn their leaves, you wouldn't have this issue.
Clay, I sent you an email, I think the day after the fire started. Where are you on getting updated policies and procedures and best practices? Because, I mean, there's compost sites all over the state and all over the country. I'm sure somebody else has figured this out already.
And I have your email here. I was basically waiting, I mean, I can come up with a policy and procedure. Can we afford that policy and procedure, you know?
Then we need to
That's
charge
the-
more.
You know,
We charge or limit it, we don't let contractors come in, you know, because like, having a site for the residents, you know, that's included in their user fee is one thing, but, you know, those stumps that are 3 foot wide, 3 foot tall, you know, those
Yeah.
those shouldn't be accepted. It should be something that you guys should be able to
well,
manage.
and be honest with you, those stumps came from the city or the county. Those didn't come from residents. They didn't haul in no big old stump like that. Those came in through storms that had to be cleaned up.
Or what happens, and I've learned through all this, and the county, I believe, does it too, a resident, whether in the county or the city, will hire a private firm to cut down the tree, and then the
Remove it.
private firm does not take the tree away, grind it, and then the county, the city.
You have to take it
street
there.
departments, I said, why are we taking this when they paid a firm to grind it? And they just leave it there, and then we come and pick it up, or you
Yeah.
guys have come and picked it up.
Well, during the
Somewhere.
Yeah, we're out of that
storm-
business
During the
now.
storm,
We
I
don't
will
do that.
tell you, we were not allowing to pick up, we were only picking up the trees that were on the side of the road that were in our easement. We had lots, when we had, remember that storm that we had?
Back
when was
in
that
March
spring
of
of-
this year.
We actually refused to allow them to pick up any trees that were on their personal
property.
land.
Well, they have in the past, I mean,
Yes,
it's not a
they-
bad
what-
thing,
what-
but I like Joe's idea of, hey, this is strictly for residents, so whether a private contractor has to call for approval to have it reviewed, or just
Charge them enough.
residents only, I think that would solve a lot, don't you think?
I also think that your staff is gonna have to be out there when people are dumping, outside
Yes.
observing. And if they see somebody dumping where they're not supposed to, or something in a truck that's not supposed to be, stop them. Just tell them, stop.
That's why I think you guys don't understand our process. They are there doing that. Right now, like I said, we dump it on when you first come in, that's where the residents are putting their stuff. We watch them, because we don't take any plastic bags, we don't take any treated lumber. Our guys do watch and do that. Now, in a couple weeks, once that pile gets big, we'll grind it up. But
I
once
think we're
once
talking
that
about
grind it up-
contractors and stumps and big logs and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't think the concern is with residents bringing in a pickup truck full of
Grass.
It's the mass
grass
up there.
or leaves or limbs. You know, what I saw out there were, to me, I never seen so much big lumber in my life in one place.
Everything and anything.
Yeah, whoa.
And a lot of that stuff was there before we got there, because that was the county's.
County's dump site, yes.
And
And
they dumped it there
the
before we
county,
even started taking it.
speaking with the director of the county, they generally look for a place to dump that wood in the county that's close to the site. They use my place as a place for firewood dump all the time. But they only take there when they have to do. And the city, I don't think you guys have got any, you have to take it there, I think. You got no other place to put it.
I wish I could, I mean, we take stuff to the
Yeah.
dump, and
Yeah.
you may have to work with our guys to evaluate what we're
Well, yeah.
bringing.
And Charity's
say, hey,
willing to
we
talk
can
to you
take
too.
this, we can't take that.
Maybe we need to start charging more. A couple landscapers, I asked them, I said, hey, for mulch, do you ever think about using this? The mulch, what they tell me that you guys grind, it needs to be ground to a different grade or something because it's inconsistent. It's got big chunks, small stuff. They're interested in possibly purchasing it if it's ground to a better consistent size.
And we do that. We've got A and B out there. The B is all free. We grind it with a 5-inch screen, and it's the bigger stuff because we just want to rush it through, get it done, and get rid of it. The finer stuff we grind through a 2-inch screen, and that we try to sell. But, we just, like when the city grinds up a stump, or when you grind up a stump, you leave that mulch out there for the residents. They have no need for our mulch.
Well, we need to look at something different about how
That's
we're
okay.
getting rid of the byproduct.
But if you guys are okay with, me making the decision of no more contractors and no more landscapers, that's gonna help reduce, but you're gonna get some calls about that.
They're gonna get calls about that. I could see
We don't mind saying no.
charging them more, and that's just a cost, it's a business cost. They will pass it
Right.
on to the consumer.
Yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to be. And if you can't afford to have them come out to do your stump, then I guess you take care of it yourself, you find somebody else.
Is
That's-
there equipment, also new equipment that you could purchase that would help
We would
do
need to
some
get
grinding?
a
or-
tub grinder in order to grind the bigger products. Our vertical grinder just won't take that large stuff.
But I mean, is that an option? Does that help?
It is, but I have the same problem that you folks are having and coming up. This is money. We only got so much money.
Well, instead of
So
purchasing
if you're
a
gonna
payload,
tell me
maybe we
to
should look
clear
this.
that out, and I have to buy a tub grinder for, $250,000,
Well, maybe not necessarily buying a tub grinder, but maybe to get us out of this condition that we're in right now, see what it would cost to rent a tub grinder.
I've got
Get
a
in
contractor
here.
that'll do that.
Pardon?
I've talked to a contractor this morning that'd be interested. They charge by the hour, come down here, they'll grind it, put it in a pile. Then we have to make sure we maintain that pile so it doesn't get hot. These are companies, Homer out of Illinois, and the other one is Mike Kachker out of southern Michigan. They specialize in this mulch. They've said that you can put this in a pile, but you'll kind of have to go out there every now and then and mix it up and fluff it.
Yeah, manage
and
it.
we understand that. It's not as though we don't know that. It's just that we don't have the area to do that in. So,
But can we raise
look at that
rates?
pile. If
Don't we
I was
have
to
some
grind that
extra
pile
money?
up, where would you want me to put it at?
Make a bigger pile.
Clay,
As long as it's
can
not
we
like
raise
the way
rates?
it-
So you should have some excess money. Or no, or is every penny spent?
Pretty much every penny spent. We had some set aside that I was hoping to use to buy the new payload, but now I put that on the back burner because I thought we might have to. But I do have an email into the insurance provider asking if they're the restoring of the site.
How much is the payloader you set aside?
It was 2.5,
How much
wasn't it?
money?
Payload was about $209,000.
Yeah.
So right there,
I saw both your payloaders. From my personal opinion, over heavy, I don't believe we need to replace those for no more hours than they use.
but for 200 grand, we've got sitting there if you don't.
For
buy
200
the
grand,
We
we got
don't have
something else.
200,000 sitting. Remember, I was asking for a loan.
Yeah.
I can come up with about 100,000, then I have to.
But as Don says, that instead of purchasing something, because then we have to house it, maintain it, grease it, operate it, repair it. These companies might come down
For less than
once a month or twice a month or whatever needs to be done. It'd be cheaper in the long run, and you have an expense in it,
And maybe that's
a fixed expense.
like Joe had asked for a policy and procedure, maybe that's what we look at for 2026. You know, we're no longer gonna do our own grinding, so we're gonna take the money that we put into our equipment, and we're gonna hire a grinder.
Sell what you don't need.
But I would also say we need to start doing something like now.
We need, because your
Before
fall
winter.
leaf cleanup's gonna be coming pretty soon.
Yeah, before winter, I think we gotta show the public that we're.
We're still
addressing
getting
it.
complaints, because now we're getting complaints about the control burn over there.
Yeah.
So, and mainly coming from your city residents.
You shouldn't be getting complaints about our site now because we're open for business. Same hours, same product, other than landscapers are not allowed to come in.
So what are you gonna do when that gets full down below? You can't take it up top.
You tell me. I
Well,
mean,
Do we have
when
100 grand?
When we start working on the policies that Joe had asked us to work on, that would be maybe the thing. Our policy's gonna be, we get to X amount of property used up, the site closes until it gets cleared. And then we open it back up after it gets cleared. And like I said, for 2 years, we've been giving away mulch and people won't take our pile out of there.
Which tells me that there's an issue why they won't.
It's just that there's too much out there. Why would you not take something that's free?
Well, I mean, I've had free cattle offered to me and I won't take them, because they're sick. The issue that I see is all this wood that's out there, the great big giant logs. We have to address that issue. I'm sure there's a different thing. There's firewood processors that you can rent on a weekly basis. And it's that way you get rid of your big splitter. You're not paying that guy that log split by hand. I would think there's an issue with firewood. If we could get that processed and split and loaded in dump trucks, people would come get that more.
But don't we want these companies that you recommended to come? do
I think
something now?
I think we need to have them look at it.
Evaluation.
Yeah.
This Kurt's
I'll make a motion to that.
I can reach out to him and get him to come look at it, if that's
Well,
okay.
Clay should do that.
Okay, you can do that. I'll give you the numbers.
Absolutely. If Steve wants to, or provide us
Yeah.
with information, either way.
Yeah.
We're open to any suggestion.
Yeah,
I haven't heard from Homer yet. Homer's
there's a
not.
there's a motion on the table,
Second,
yeah, in a second. And that's to
have Clay.
get a hold of these
These two companies.
two contractors here that Steve's proposing. Any questions on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay,
I can go back to
Okay.
the meeting, I apologize.
right. Okay, so Clay, you gonna get a hold of these
Yeah,
companies?
Steve will provide it. And that was one of our thoughts also, is maybe
Right,
sending
Steve?
out
Yep,
an
we'll get a hold of
RFQ
Yep.
and seeing what the hole's out there.
Pardon, I'm sorry.
Sending out an RFQ, request for qualifications, and see if we can get somebody that we don't know offer suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got another guy that, the grinders.
Yeah, we had, from the guy that came out to the site, Matt, I forget his last name, it's a long name, MP Lawn Care.
Yep, Matt,
He's made but he said to rent a tub grinder would be like $30,000. And
For
he would
how
need-
long?
And he would need, for a month, it's 30 days. But he'd want that, he needs that money up front. And it's like, we're government, we don't pay up front. You have to provide the service, then we'll pay you.
Okay, well, I mean, if he doesn't do it the way it's proposed by us, then we get somebody else.
different.
I mean, I'd love to work locally, not like a homer that's out of Illinois, but,
Well, it depends on who's got the equipment to do it.
right.
Right.
So,
And Homer comes out and picks it up for free.
Yeah.
And hauls it away. So you're not gonna.
you're not gonna have a pile of mulch here.
When I talked to your contractor who's doing your woods over here,
Yep,
Cannon Timber,
yep.
he said now that it's been burned, you're not gonna find a lot of people that's gonna want that.
The fire with the mulch, that's an issue they got with the mulch, not to make trees in the mulch, because of the smoke and the damage. Firewood's not gonna work, because it's got all sorts of dirt on it.
So it's just a matter of we're gonna have to pay somebody to come in and grind it up and landfill it somewhere.
I thought we couldn't put it in landfill.
You can put it in contracted landfills,
Okay,
where they're monitored by IDEM or whoever state
Okay.
they're in, and watch which come in, but
then it's gotta be trucked over to them. And where's the closest one for those?
probably Illinois somewhere, I would think. Yeah, it's not an easy
The
solution.
the issue's gonna be, we have to get that cleaned up.
Okay, so what have you looked into so far?
My thought is that we contract it out to get it cleaned up. But we're gonna have to reduce what's coming into that site. I just can't keep taking that. I mean, there's some Saturdays that 100 cars come through our site. It's not feasible. It's something that the county obviously needs because they use it. But I got 2 guys that run that site 6 days a week.
Mhm.
Then what do you recommend?
I'm kind of waiting to see what you guys offer me. I'm wanting to
But you're
reduce
the
the hours.
director.
You're the director, and
Yeah,
I'm
these
looking
two
at
guys,
reducing
these two guys, are we sure they're putting forth 100% effort when they're working? If they're not, we need to really question their employment.
I mean, I can't say that. I would hope that they're working to the best of their ability out there. You know, whether they put in 100%, that's here and there.
No, 'cause I mean, they're not, without that pile back up there, I think there'd be a lot more space to separate this stuff.
But we can't do anything until that area that was burned is
We have to clean it.
either cleared
Yeah.
or compacted or something. It's gotta be fixed.
We agree to that.
So as the director, what is your recommendation?
My recommendation is for us to look at actually increasing our fees,
Okay.
reducing our hours, and upgrading our equipment.
But then how does that, okay, so those three things, we got an acute problem back there right now, right?
Right now.
We have a whole bunch of burnt wood. The fire's been out for a week now. What is your suggestion for us to, have you called any companies? Do you have anything lined up where we can get rid of that wood?
No, but I've contacted our insurance provider to ask if the process of restoring the site would be covered under our insurance policy. Then if they say yes, then we go out for the quotes to have a company come in, like Steve was saying, come in and grind it, haul it off, come in and cut up the firewood and take it, or whatever that solution be.
But the issue at hand there is whether the insurance company pays for it or not, we have to make sure that site is cleaned up so we can make it usable again.
yeah.
So we have to start moving forward, and the insurance company's gonna have to follow up after that.
And I'm not, I'm not telling you guys something you don't already know, I'm sure, but this is October.
Yeah.
Our budget's pretty much expended.
Yeah, the 16th, you're going before your
So,
budget.
yeah, for 2026.
Yeah, 26.
I mean, so there's not a lot of dollars left in my budget to actually do a major cleanup out there. So it's gonna have to be reset until we come up with a solution.
I don't think it can set. Because then a question I've got, what all burned? Is IDEM gonna come in and say we got water running off to places not supposed to be? Then don't forget, we got the MS4 guy that's always looking for things to cause problems for.
No, but as Rob said, item was out there during the fire.
Yeah, I talked to her.
And it's been cleaned, so.
Have you reached out to Jim Pressel? See if there's any state assistance or help?
No, we met with Rob and Amy Bloom, and she said there is some funding from the state.
From Department of Homeland Security?
Yes.
Okay.
They said there could possibly be some funding from the state once we figure out what all is gonna be covered, what's not gonna be covered, and what our costs are. Like I said, I've only received one bill at this office, and that's one that Joe forwarded me from MP Lawn Care. So,
We need to keep moving forward though. Because I mean, if we're gonna wait for insurance and tight budgets to come up with, we can't have it be sitting out there a year from now and still be a mess.
well, I don't know very many people that's gonna wanna come in and work on a promise.
Didn't tell them we're gonna promise. Move forward to get proposals and find
Yeah.
resolutions and solutions. I mean, it doesn't cost nothing to say, hey, would you be interested? What do you think we should do with this? These companies here will give you an idea.
Well, and like I said, Jesse Cannon contacted a couple companies for us, and they both said, we really don't want it.
They've just been burned.
Okay, but there's been a motion on the table and voted on to get a hold of these folks, and so we're directing you to go out and get proposals from these companies, and if there's any other companies out there,
Reach out.
go out and reach out and get proposals, get their ideas. Like Steve says, they may have alternatives that they know how to get rid of this wood, but to me, that something's gotta move, and it's gotta get out of there.
Yep. We can't.
Yeah, I mean, that just
You
can't
can't go
sit
on
out
again.
there and fires continually, erupt again.
It's not the first fire that's been out there. Don Stoner said it's happened several times over the years.
No, that's not true. I mean, we had one on our berm that we put the fire there. We were trying to burn the green off the top. That's the only other fire other than that one. I mean, there's fires there before, that was all county, that was not us.
Okay.
So, that's why I say rumors get started like that.
Well, it's not a rumor. I just said there's been fires there before.
He said there's multiple fires.
It's only been there a few years.
Yeah.
They were Westville before, well.
Yeah.
We were
But no, they had
mostly kicked out of the prison, but.
a site along the road there where they were dumping TVs and everything else for a while too. So, but we need to address this issue. The pile can't be this big
Yeah,
again.
that's, yeah.
So, and if we close that down to contractors, what's it gonna open us up? Can they file suit and say, hey, why aren't we allowed to use it if we pay the tipping fee?
They cannot, because we're actually, by Indiana code, we're a residential program.
Well, raise the tipping fee for one.
I think we just ought to eliminate contractors and even landscapers. Eliminate all of those folks, let them find their own. We're not in the business of helping businesses. I mean, if it's convenient for us, great. If it's not convenient for us,
That's why you make the tipping fee high enough to make it worth our while to use them. And they have the option then of either passing that on as business cost. And if the consumer doesn't want to pay that, then the consumer looks somewhere different. But if the tipping fee is enough to make it worth our while, we continue to use the contractors. That generates income. So
it's a good proposal, but you're talking,
if they
a year
don't,
away.
yeah, but if they don't do it, they don't do it then.
Because if I was to impose a fee, say even tomorrow, I can't spend that fee. That's not the way government's set up.
No, well, the government's not set up correctly.
Yeah, because that's gotta go, and then next year we gotta reappropriate that into our budget, so I gotta kind of project, I think we're gonna get $100,000 from vendors.
But you may have to look at, well, like I said, the payloader. Personally, I looked at your payloaders. I don't think they need to be replaced. We talked about that at site.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you on the cat. I mean, our Doosan is new, that's
Yeah.
only 17, but our cat is in 1998. It's smoking bad now. And if you're to the point where, okay, yeah, let's put, $15,000, $20,000 a year in maintenance instead of $190,000 in a new one, okay, that's what we'll do.
I still have to question.
But
It's got 12,000 hours. I run a lot of tracks in life. I got 10,000 hours. I'm not scared to run them at all every day. So I mean, there's
I'm not saying
one thing I
hours, I'm
found.
saying dollars
Yeah,
for maintenance on them.
you can put it.
Hey Clay, going back to the rate, okay, for the contractors, what are they paying now?
$7 a cubic yard.
How much?
$7 a cubic yard. Not very much.
Basically nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, we can raise it, I have no problem with that, but I think we just ought to eliminate them. They're not a resident. Let's take care of our residents. That's who we need.
Yeah, I mean,
that's who we're
I-
obligated to.
I don't have a problem with eliminating contractors from coming out here. I'm just going by the program that you guys have had set up here, and that's how we've been running. But if you're the director and you feel that, hey, we should stop contractors from coming out here and bring these large pieces of wood, and now it's our problem to deal with it, that if you want to make, bring that to the board as a proposal, then do that.
We're going into basically the off-season. There'll be leaves coming in quite a bit, but grass and the brush should phase out. November, we phase out our Saturday hours, so some of the solutions are coming to help us with the time of the year.
Yeah, but we're not talking contractors bringing leaves and
Yeah, that's all city.
all that stuff too? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't do contractors bring leaves.
We have a lot of landscapers that bring us in leaves and brush and stuff.
They clean up yards.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're gonna have a problem with disposing of it, there's no doubt, but I don't know if that's our concern, that they're having a problem with that. They're a business.
That's like I said, if they're a business, figure out what the tipping fee has to be and tell them, if you want to use our facility, if I had figured up right, a 16-foot dump truck is $265 for a dumping fee. It's 37 cubic yards. So that's very minimal. And if they can, then they can choose to either pay it or not pay it. Have you talked to other landfills around what they charge?
No, I had no reason to.
Well, I mean, we need to reach out to them too. Maybe there's a reason some of these people are coming from out of county because we're cheap.
Yeah, we watch the license plates. I mean, they could, but we watch the license plates. If somebody, and we have that problem with, Long Beach and that. Summer people will come in and they'll have Illinois plates and, they'll tell us that they have a house there and we check it. So, but yeah,
Okay.
But I'm talking about out of county places.
yeah, like I said, we check the plates. If they got a 64, we won't take it. Or 71, we won't take it.
Well, I guess I don't really have a problem taking leaves and grass and things like that. I mean, to me, that's not gonna delay this or cause a safety hazard out here in this operation. It's these gigantic logs that I see out there and these gigantic stumps. That's my concern, because that's what caused the fire, right? And kept it going for.
Well, I think once it started smoldering down below, it went to a piece of wood and caught on because they were pulling logs that were still on fire.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the whole cause of the fire is there's too much there at one
Yeah.
spot and
Yeah.
not being managed. And like I said, if
Yeah.
you could go in there and turn that once in a while, there's a compost turner up there. If you,
We just don't have a PTO, we don't have a tractor.
so you don't have a tractor. So, okay, here's my question. How do we wind up with that if you didn't have a tractor pull it?
We did have a tractor, the tractor broke, and we went with a different process. When we were out in Westville, we used the windrow turner because we had enough land out there we could have, a 3-acre long, 5-foot tall compost row. And that was what we call hot composting. We did that, we turned it, we took the temperature. We added either more green, more brown,
Yep.
more water. We did all that.
Was that easier to get rid of the materials then?
We didn't have to worry about it then. It was just, it would sit there.
Okay.
We could have forever. Out here, we're limited, so, and you guys are all out there, you're seeing where we took the pile off the top and put it on the bottom there. Where are you gonna put the new pile at?
See, that's
So we leave that there
why
and
we have to
turn
get
it
it
now.
cleaned. We have to get it cleaned. That's the number one priority right now.
But that kind of stuff's gonna come in again, just as much again.
Well, then we're gonna have to-
Unless we stop it.
But stopping it, I don't think that's the answer either. If we could turn it into a moneymaker to help alleviate this process, instead of a $200,000 payloader, maybe a $100,000 tractor to get you to do something different then. We got to, if we've got that turner and we're not using it, I don't understand that. If we're not gonna use it, sell it,
We tried to sell it, nobody wants it.
scrap it.
The board had actually said, I can dispose of it, Scrap prices are so. I mean, I would just keep it in case,
$265 a ton now.
Somebody might come along and say, hey, I could use that,
But why can't you use it now? Because there's no room to put all this mulch?
We don't have a tractor to turn it.
Oh, because the PTO's out.
PTO's on the tractor.
Yeah.
It's power takeoff.
Payloaders
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
PTOs yet.
You still got the tractor?
No, it's gone,
Oh, it's all gone.
yeah.
Oh.
We traded that in when we bought the new Doosan in 17.
Do we really need 2 payloaders?
Yes. Well, we probably need more than that, but we only have 2 men. We need bigger payloader, to get in there and actually turn the piles and stuff.
Well, to get this cleaned up, I don't think the staff here could do it. 'Cause I think you're gonna need some pretty heavy equipment, you're gonna need a thumb on an excavator to move those big logs and get them loaded in trucks and trailers.
You're absolutely right.
And then you're gonna have to push all the stuff that's been burned, dirt, mulch, mix, whatever it is, that's gonna have to be put in a separate pile and monitored, because it's just gonna get hot again.
One of our goals is to get rid of the piles, but the part that's been burned that's sitting there right now is just to try to compact that down as much as we can, put dirt on it. But that's gonna be, once again, a contractor to do this. We don't have a compactor. Compact it down.
I mean,
put dirt
compact,
on
you
it
could talk to County Highway.
To compact it down to smother it, and put dirt on it to smother it, and then put recycled asphalt on it and start using that for the collection site again. Instead of trying to actually excavate all that out of there, just, let's compact it. If you put dirt on it, it's gonna smother, nothing's gonna, even if it's burning down there, it's not gonna
But
ignite because it's underground.
I don't think you'll be able to compact that enough. You have to talk to somebody at the highway or whatever, because that's basically just like a sponge right now. So if you put dirt on it, it's just gonna be spongy again. You put asphalt on top of it, it's gonna be spongy again.
Well, that's why you need that, like a landfill excavator with a big,
Crow's foot or a low
what do
land,
you call
crow's
those
foot,
with the
yeah,
big tire?
sheep's
Yeah.
foot.
They
Yeah.
really smash it down, but we don't have that. It's another
Well,
contractor issue, and that's another dollar
I
issue.
believe the county highway's got one. Or they used to. So, this is both, besides talking to these people, we need to get forward and get that site cleaned up, period, get it back on the books, so we can start using it again. We've gotta get that site cleaned up one way or another.
We just asked you a question, why do we need to start using that again? I mean, right now, we're taking in public, which is what we're obligated.
We can't leave that mess up there.
And taking that aside, I agree with you, but there's no urgency right now to jump on that and get it done right now. There's no contamination going into the water stream. We're taking in for the residents right now, and we're gonna grind what the residents bring in, and we're gonna put that in a windrow. So everything's under control right now.
If you don't get it cleaned up, you've lost all that space.
True, but we don't need the space right now if we limit what's coming in.
Well, I think we should at least move forward, give proposals.
Proposals, get these proposals,
See what's
yeah.
going on with that, and then we can make a decision after that if we want to spend the money to get these tub grinders in here and maybe their expertise on how to get that wood out of there.
And-
Yeah, because it's got to get cleaned, regardless of whether we use the space again or not.
That's what
it
I'm
has
thinking.
to be cleaned up. It has to be.
Well, you just
No,
voted
but-
to get proposals, so
Yeah.
why do you keep saying this,
So,
Steve? You're just
well,
repeating yourself.
because he's talking about not in a big hurry to do anything.
Right.
It
I
needs
am
to
in
be
a hurry.
done. It needs to be done.
Well, the board just
So,
instructed him to
okay,
get.
so here's these two numbers. So we addressed all the issues today?
You guys are the ones that have the
Yeah.
issues.
I still
If you-
think,
If you're satisfied with your request.
I still think management out there needs to be stepped up. I mean, they've got signs out there that grass goes here, mulch goes here, clippings go here, stuff like that, wood goes here, and they're putting all one big pile, they're not doing their job.
Yeah. I guess you need to come out during the day sometime and watch the operation, because those signs are there right now, and we're segregating the grass and the leaves.
Then how do we wind up with this giant pile of everything?
Because that's where all the excess went that we couldn't
Then
handle.
we need to look at doing things different.
That's where all that stuff's at.
We need to look at doing things different, one way or another.
Yeah.
So,
That's what we've been talking about. What's the best way to do things different? You know, you're talking about hiring new management out there. You guys go through this every day when you're looking at a new highway superintendent or building maintenance. Nobody wants to work for county wages. You know, you have to step up your wages.
well, but the issue is, we can go on for hours on this, but
Yeah.
I think there's a management issue out there.
Yeah.
With making the employees do work, because I asked you to bring those employees in early one day and have work late with the payloaders, and you said you really didn't want to tell them to do that. You didn't want them to come in early because they didn't want to wake them up or whatever. Tough.
I don't think I said that. I said they just won't come in early.
Then,
They
okay,
said fire them. It's like, you know,
there you go.
we're at Indiana isn't that well state, but why do you want to incur lawsuits, you know?
I still think we're going to be fired for firing somebody, so. Okay, but here's these two numbers.
Yep.
For starters, we get more numbers. Talk to Matt from MP, he'll come up with more if he's got
Right,
them.
we'll send him the same thing we send
Yep.
these two guys.
So,
And if anybody has any other names or recommendations, get them to us and we'll get them out. The last issue we need to address though is, are you sending in the bills to the insurance adjuster? You're gonna get them to me?
we're collecting the bills currently right now. That way they're in one area, Diane has a folder, she's keeping track of all the contractors that helped. As they come in, they're checking them off.
Okay,
And same thing with the highway. The city, it sounds like the city's gonna have a bill for us too. And the volunteer firefighters.
Volunteer firefighters.
and I know Commissioner Haney sent it to me and I mentioned it back to you, but now you do have MP lawn care on your list.
Yes, we do.
So this one that I have, I can just like set on. your-
Just set up, if you get a bill, make sure Diane's got a copy of it, you hold them too.
Yeah, that's
But-
the only one I received was from
Okay.
you guys, because that was
Yep.
our goal, was to send everything to your office as
Yep.
one.
Yeah, that's what we know. Diane's been compiling them all up, and as soon as we get to a point, we're gonna probably, well, I'm sure we'll talk about this in the next commissioners meeting for these
But again,
billing.
it's not a commissioner's issue, they're their own district, right?
We're taking these
Done.
bills in.
Doug, are-
I mean,
Yeah.
Diane wants to bring them to us, we'll send them in, or.
Yep.
like I
Once
said,
we get them all
you guys-
compiled.
Yeah.
but you guys are your own entity, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So they'll be the one that takes it for the bills, but currently right now, everything's coming to our office because most contractors have our office.
Right, I just want to make sure that MP didn't get,
No, we got his, so,
Well, when's our next, meeting?
December,
December 2nd.
December?
that's why we had to have this one, because we couldn't wait that long.
Yeah. And, let's see, October, November. I think that we should reconvene, after you get information on these tub grinders.
It's like 2-3 weeks.
And, maybe in a couple weeks or whatever, whenever you get all the information on the tub grinders, okay, then let us know and we'll reconvene and we'll get another, meeting set up. Cause I don't wanna wait till December.
No, no.
If we can get
got
somebody
time for
in here and maybe work on this or get an idea of what they're talking about,
that.
yeah.
We can't wait till December.
Yeah, but I agree, we gotta keep this moving and get this, cleaned up, and if we gotta do something with the contractors, where the contractors don't come out here anymore, with big stumps, leaves and things like that, we can talk about that, but with these gigantic pieces of wood, No, I mean, if they take on a job and they're cutting somebody's tree down, well, then they should get paid to take that wood somewhere else and bring it here.
Some of your contractors of tree contractors now are using firewood processors. And like I said, that might be something else to look. I think there's a market for firewood. But to have one guy do it at a time and his off cert time, I don't think you'll ever get anywhere.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, the firewood processors I looked at, it's $825 for 16 hours. So, all you have to do is continuously load the logs into it.
As you're,
And it chops them up?
as you're,
Yep,
as,
up to 20 inches.
as you're developing
Wow.
the policies and procedures, find out what other districts do as well. You know, professional sites as well as other districts. Find out if they have contractors, landscapers come through charging different rates for leaves versus brush versus sticks, you know, and what the different grades are, you know, or rather than just a blanket rate for, you know, what was it, $7 cubic yard?
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, you know, do you need just $7 for leaves, you know, $10 for grass, brushes, 20, you know, whatever it comes out to be as options, not saying we want to go back to taking it from them, but to Commissioner Hollifield's point, it may be a way to generate some revenue, and some other stuff in if we start looking at different, because, you know, as you said, we're a residential focused group
Yep.
here with the district.
Yeah.
But, you know, one thing that, if there's absolutely nowhere else for landscapers, let's say, to put stuff, are they gonna start dumping it on the side of the road? You know, not saying that,
Sure.
you know, right, you know, but at some point, you know, if, we know we've got a lot of back roads in this county. You know, when people don't drive frequently.
TVs, couches.
Yeah, right, with the,
Garbage.
heck, just going down West Joliet, the electronics and crap they throw out on the road sometimes.
I just think you're gonna, and not to try to discourage anything, but out of the 92 counties, there's 67 districts, and we all pretty much operate differently. St. Joe County doesn't do a compost site. They just don't.
Then we need to find out why.
They hire a company to come in and pick their leaves up. The county does that, hires this company to come in and pick the leaves up. Porter County has 3 recycling sites, and one is operated by the city of Valparaiso. So, you know, everybody does things a little bit
Well,
different.
find out how they do it and why they do it. And find out what their fees are they're charging. So,
One other question I had that went to some points that were made earlier. How often, prior to the fire incident here, how often were you getting out and visiting the recycling compost area?
Myself,
Yeah.
probably on a daily basis. Usually at my lunch hour, I'll run through just to see what things look like.
Okay.
Any other questions?
not right now, apparently.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second?
Second.
All right.